What do you feel like God is saying through this worldwide pandemic crisis taking place?
Well, I definitely understand the pandemic. I understand it. I understand that there really is a virus. I mean, that's true. Nothing is contrived. Don't really understand how it started. Don't really understand the total role of China. But the one thing that this virus has done and the way it's been handled is it's sort of shown me um, the all ulterior motives maybe of some politicians. And I think it's an abuse of power in some cases that I've seen. I think I've seen some governors in some states maybe abuse their power a little bit. And I've also seen maybe that this virus might be the precursor to the revealing of the structure that may reveal the Antichrist one day. Because the Antichrist is going to have a structure where the saints of God are going to be prohibited, and they're going to be fought, and they're going to be restricted on many levels. And because of this virus, we've seen how the churches, many of them have, I think, been abused. Some of them have, and I just I really have been amazed at how the president has come under such assault. And it seems like the people that wants to do the right thing by the public has really been assaulted. And then we still hear that same old mantra and that same old diatribe of just negative, 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 negative. At first, it was, the collusion, Russian collusion, and then it was the
Right.
impeachment, and now it's the coronavirus. It's like we have gotten now to where our news cycles are focused on one major subject, and there's not much room in there for any other subject. It's like it's just one major thing now that dominates. Everybody gets in on it. Everybody tells what they think. You can hear you can hear just anything you want to hear in regard to any subject that they're talking about. They cross the gamut, and everybody gives their input about what they think about it. And I also have seen a lot of the people have just gone nuts and trying to come up with ideas about what all this is, and conspiracy theories has just really shocked me at some of the things that people actually believe. And I don't know, there may be some truth to some of those conspiracy theories, but I mean, right now, some of it sounds mighty outlandish to me. So I think right now that, we're just living in a time of deception on every hand. And if you look at what Jesus said, it said in the last days, when the disciples came to Jesus and asked him, they said, "Would you tell us what will be, how things will be in the end of the age? What will be the sign of your coming and that kind of thing?" And he answered the question in the sequence that they asked him. And so the final question that they asked him was, "Well, what will be the sign of your coming?" And so whenever he answered that question, it was amazing that he saved it till last, but he said he didn't mention earthquakes twice. He didn't mention he didn't mention pestilence twice or wars and rumors of wars. The only the only thing that he mentioned more than once was deception, and he mentioned it three times. And here's what he said. He said, "In the last days," he said, "many will come, and many will." He said, "Deception, and many will be deceived. Shall deceive you." He said, talking to the disciples. The second time he mentioned deception, he said, "And many shall be deceived." But the third time he mentioned deception, he said, "If it were possible, the very elect would be deceived." So I believe Jesus was answering their question, and I believe he was saying that the sign of his soon coming would be deception. And deception is when you believe that right is wrong and you believe that wrong is right. That's deception. And so
That
whenever he
is so,
mentioned that as the sign, it just really shocked me that he was talking about that as the sign of his coming. And he mentioned it three times. So he said, if it
you
were
know,
possible, the very elect would be deceived. And you just hear some stuff coming out from the body of Christ that shock you.